Welcome into a weird edition of Pop Blender Unfiltered on a Wednesday afternoon, just a few hours before I do a stream with my cousin on Sevens Wild on the 3-Star Draw YouTube channel. Welcome in for any and everybody who wants to come hang out for a little while in this drive time afternoon. Maybe many of you in the East Coast. We got a few things to talk about, man, and we're going to kind of just take it easy. I have so much stuff saved up from the last several weeks that it's too much to talk about. But we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on a few things that range from the NFL to the weather, which is the big talk right now. We're gonna talk about Minnesota a little bit. And regardless of what your thoughts are on the current immigration policies and things of that nature, I think most of us would agree that it's gotten pretty out of hand, especially with the protests and just how people are handling this. I'll kind of give you some of my thoughts about why I think so many people are participating, maybe. And there's one word. I'm going to write it down before I forget because I'm so bad about having topics and listing them on a stream, and then at the end I'll go, "Oh shit. I didn't even I didn't even go over the stream." Or the topics rather. So, but I would be remiss, as I see a few people rolling in, and I appreciate it. You guys have a lot of other things you can do with your time, but I appreciate you coming in, stopping by, and if there's a topic you don't feel like listening to, by all means, man, there's so many videos. I'm going to talk about my YouTube addiction, which I think most of us have. But I would be remiss if I did not introduce Otis McDonald and the band. Come on, Otis. Bring it on down. Let's hear that snare drum drop. Oh, yeah. All right. Bring it down, Otis. A little too loud. Now, you guys let me know. Try to adjust my audio settings. Had some people telling me that the streams were weird, that the sound was only coming out of one side, or I'd put the music on and my voice would go to the other side. So if it sounds like that, let me know. Got a pretty good sound setup. But let's write down a couple of words here that I want to make sure I don't forget. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to look up the weather here in a second because I think it's an interesting topic, because I went down a rabbit hole last night after my stream with one Matthew Mamu Nestor action figure blog. Matson had a pretty good stream last night. Pretty good stream. It was fun. It's always fun every Tuesday. Say hey to a few folks like the one and only Graf in the house. Yeah, if you saw the thumbnail, there's no hidden meaning or agenda behind the thumbnail. It was just for fun. I was like, man, okay. I don't know if you guys remember a show, and I'm sure you do, called Malcolm in the Middle. If you remember a show, Malcolm in the Middle, Frankie Muniz, Bryan Cranston, and then who else? The other cast of characters. It got me thinking about, like, middle school and stuff like that. And then it got me thinking about being in the lunchroom and people throwing food at you, or, you know, the little cartons of chocolate milk that used to get. That used to be one of my favorite things in class when you're in, like, 3rd grade, 2nd grade, whatever, is you got milk time. At least I hope you guys did, because we got milk time. And you wanted to make sure you had your, how much, you know, couple dimes and a nickel, you know, 25 cents, 35 cents, whatever it was. And you go down, take your little break, and you go down to the lunchroom and you just go through the line, grab you some chocolate milk, and bring it back to class. And it's one of my favorite things because I love chocolate milk. I don't drink enough of it anymore, but I love chocolate milk. But we watched a lot of Malcolm in the Middle. My son has gotten on this kick lately where he's watching old shows like that and having a lot of fun with it. And so it's a lot of fun for me too, because I didn't watch that show. And going back and watching it with him and seeing his reaction to early 2000s culture, stuff like that, has actually been a lot of fun, because it's totally different. In the show, they're breaking out VHS tapes or DVD, not even really DVDs. It's VHS tapes. The way telephones are used. Just, all those differences in what we use now, culture and all that stuff. Music. Girls, the show, it's 4 boys. So it's very centric. 4 boys being interested in girls, it's very cut and dry. They have a kid in a wheelchair who can hardly breathe when he talks. Like this. They have nerd kids. Yeah. It's a good show. Quirky, but good. Rough around the edges, I guess, for early 2000s TV. But anyway, so it got me thinking about the cafeteria thing and, chocolate milk in one hand, pizza in the other. And you're right, Graf. I am just asking for trouble. Son of a Crayon Slayer is here as well. G.I. Jetman. Hello to both of y'all. And like I said, this is a weird time to do a stream. So if anybody pops in, that's great. You guys are just kicking back, listening. You are not required to have to type if you don't want to. Unless I say something that just really gets you off the rails, right? But yeah, we got a few things. And one of those things I'm going to start with here in a minute. But I wanted to get to this whole weather thing, because I went down a rabbit hole last night after the stream of watching YouTube weather people. Now, we all generally know to tune in to our local news people, right? Those are the go-tos, and it's easy to do because, you've done it your whole life. If you're in my boat, you've done it your whole life. You looked at your local weather people. But for some reason last night, and probably because my phone's listening to me like yours is listening to you, it suggested this YouTube weather guy called Max Velocity. Let me tell you something right now. Hell and yes. If you know, you know, right, Graf? If you know, you know. For those of you that don't know, you need to know. South American weather people. They come up in my YouTube short feed all the time. I don't really know why that is. But anyway, so this guy, Max Velocity, I'm going to bring his channel up, actually. I'll share it with you guys. He's pretty damn good. He's pretty good. And lo and behold, would you know it, Woody Triple Deuce is in the house. Woody, hope you're having a good day, man. You guys deal with some crazy weather probably. We're about to deal with some crazy shit. So this guy right here.
This winter storm just took a dramatic turn, and it changes the snow and ice forecast completely. A very dangerous winter storm is less than 48 hours away from exploding in the southern United States, which will lead to days of heavy snow and crippling ice. But this winter storm has taken a huge turn over the last 24 hours. Computer models are now showing a massive shift to the north. This has major implications for...
Okay, so you get my drift, right? What this guy's about. Right, you get my drift. Bobby Wold, how you doing, man? Yeah, in a way, I wish it was the weather dominator. And that sounds terrible, But how freaking cool would it be to have G.I. Joe and Cobra in our real world? Like that, come on, right? Like, come on. But no, it's one Mother Nature, unfortunately. Yeah, man, hey, yeah, stick around for a little bit. We're going to get into some stuff and chat it up a little bit. Take our time. Dude, could be my favorite miniseries animated of all time. Very well could be. Probably because it's so near and dear and close to my heart, and obviously what we all love. That might have a little something to do with it. I don't know. But anyway, so HK Viper, how you freaking doing? What's up? Afternoon to you. So look, I know where some of you live in the country, and some of you I don't. I hope you're not going to have to deal with this, but in the South, it is common, as JoeFan84 checks in. What's up, buddy? It is common in the South that we do not handle weather like this very well. Well, people move here all the time. They talk about it. Oh, you guys don't know how to drive, and you don't know how to. Well, okay. Number one, we don't set aside money in the state to deal with these conditions because we just don't deal with these conditions. It's rare. But twice a year we get some snow, once every couple, 3-4 years. Seems more recently in the last few years with weather pattern changes and whether you believe in global warming or what. I'm not here to debate that. But we don't deal with this kind of weather often, and so therefore you don't spend a lot of resources combating it. Whereas people who live in the Northeast, for instance, they definitely have to, right? If you're out west, obviously, it's the rare every 20-year occasion or something that you get snow, some of that kind of shit. So we don't deal with it very often. We had a freeze a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and it shuts the city down for like 3 days. At least like 3 days. Sometimes a week, 5 days, something like that. So I'm on YouTube after I get done, and I look up, and this guy's feed comes across my YouTube as I'm scrolling. Max Velocity. Entertaining guy. He does a great job. And as a YouTuber, I mean, he's got 1.55 million subscribers, I think. I went down the rabbit hole watching these YouTubers do weather. And it is far more entertaining and far more informational than your local weather because there's no other agenda other than the weather. And they're entertaining. Where your local person, unless they're South American weather people, they're not that entertaining, right? This dude's good. So if you guys are curious about the weather, right? If you're curious about this winter, this huge storm that's going to be coming in, this dude, Max Velocity, there's a reason he's got 1.5 million subs, right? He's pretty damn good. It's about to be a shit show around here. It's about to be a shit show. Now, HK Viper says it's gonna drop below 0 here this weekend, and I'm fighting off this damn crud going around. As you can hear, I still have a little bit. I haven't streamed by myself in a while. Partially, some of that was lost my voice for about a week or so. The other part of it is I've been on dad duty. Now I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, this storm, this winter storm coming through, man, this is going to be some funky shit. And I hope you guys don't have to deal with anything crazy. I hope you guys don't have to get out in it. If you obviously don't have to get out in it. Sometimes it's kind of fun, I ain't gonna lie. I am one of those people that hates being cooped up. So I will get out. I will get out and I will tool around, even just to go to the store, just to get out of the house. couple of years ago, I spent 3 hours outside on our street because it's a hill with a cul-de-sac at the bottom. And to get out of the neighborhood, to get to the secondaries, you've got to make it up this hill. And it's rare when there's ice, anybody can make it up the hill. So I got out there for 3 hours, and I chopped that shit up in about 10, 15-foot sections from each other and got bare concrete so people could get some traction and make it up. And not a single fucking neighbor helped me, by the way. I'm not kidding. They were out watching me do it. 3 hours I spent out there chopping, shoveling, scraping. But you could get out of the neighborhood. It was the only way. So I hope none of you guys are in that situation. And I hope you don't have to deal with it. But here in the South, it is about to get real, real funky. And it's this corridor right here that's on the screen. And it does not look good. That's a huge swath into Arkansas from Texas. I talked to Matthew Matson last night. He's needing to travel. It could be pretty bad. You know. Look, I got to tell you, man, you just can't put salt on it. That's a lot of money, especially if you want to get the actual real salt. Joe Fan here in rural Alabama. Last year we had an ice storm and the water pipes froze, which is a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. Says we were out of water for over a week. My neighbor went back to Maryland for Christmas, I think 2 years ago. And it was in that time that we got a real bad freeze. They were out of town for like 2 weeks. And then they got back home, and I noticed a day later there was one of those portable dumpsters in the driveway. And I'm like, oh, he must be renovating. He's always doing some renovating. He's a musician, sound guy. He's making a little studio, you know. No, their pipes burst. And for like a week and a half, it just ruined their downstairs. Absolutely ruined their downstairs. Giraffe says 1.5 million subscribers. Weather is that popular? Yes. There are things that are that crazy popular. It's insane to me. Seek and you shall find. But weather, because weather's addictive, right? You know, ever since high def technology went into TV, if you guys remember, right around 2004-ish, 2005-ish, weather was the one thing to benefit from HD cameras in the early 2000s. Especially, at least, so golf was one of them, but especially for your news. Weather, the map, the graphics, everything became crystal clear. And I remember the moment, I had a friend of mine work for a local broadcast channel here. He operated like swapping tapes and all that stuff, right, for news stories. And he told me, he said, hey, after the AFC championship game or after the Super Bowl, something like that, he's like, we're the first news channel in town to go with HD. It was Channel 5. And it was freaking ridiculous. The difference, right? I know you guys remember that. But the weather was the one thing I remember. Mass numbers of Gen X getting to that feel it in my bones age? Yeah, probably. National Guard came in with portable showers and water. I remember that. I remember when Texas went through their freeze, right? That wasn't that long ago. And that shut them down for, you know, people without power. And that's something we're a little worried about here, is running out, having no power. And I don't have a generator. I'm not one of those people that's like, I need to rush out and buy a $700 generator that I'm going to use for a day. Because it's not something it happens down here that often. You know, it's that cost factor of like, do I need it? Is it worth it? Is it going to sit in the garage and get used once every 3 years? But when you have it, it's damn nice to have. Oh, wait, hang on. Woody, yeah, chopping, scraping, and shoveling. Not only was it a wild night in the 80s, but after I graduated high school and started playing drums with bands, it was a wild night in the 90s, Woody. Okay, let me just tell you that. What do you think, Graf? You think this is a giant penis? You think this is a big shot of penicillin? I will tell you guys another quick story too. So about 5 years ago, we had a big snow and ice freeze come through. It was the winter of 2020. The place I was renting had water included. And it didn't get paid and it got cut off. It got cut off. And I had to go melt snow. I had to go gather snow in this giant bowl that I use to put popcorn in when I pop it. And I had to bring the snow inside and I had to melt it and pour it into the fucking toilet so I could flush the toilet. And I know you guys have been there. I know you know what I'm talking about. And our local water company would not come out. I had to. It was a process to get them to come out. And I finally got it rectified after like 3 days. 3 days. Because I went and bought a bunch of bottled water, dumped in the back of the toilet. This shit got expensive, man. Right? Just expensive. And you're right. The solar panel way is the way to go, Clint Jorgensen. What's up, Clint? Good to see you, man. So nonetheless, man, this weather thing, like it's sweeping the country right now. Like it is all the talk. And I knew you guys probably wouldn't give a shit if I brought it up a little bit, especially this guy's channel, Max Velocity, with his giant penis on the screen. I figured you guys wouldn't care so much, but it's sweeping the country, man. But dude, I'm not kidding you, man. Like having to melt snow to pour it in the back of the toilet to be able to flush the toilet, go to the bathroom, dude. You at a point in my life where I'm like, I'm beyond. This is not supposed to be happening right now. Like this is not supposed to be happening right now. And I wanted to go to a hotel, Joe fan, but I got to tell you, man, the free of charge part, that shit ain't happening here in Nashville. That shit ain't happening. You want to go to a motel, okay, Holiday Inn. If your girl starts acting up, then you take her friend kind of place. They still going to charge you $100 a night. The kind that got crispy critters in the bed, if you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? They do the laundry about once a week. You know what I mean? I got a heater, man, but obviously it's not gas powered, so, you know, we shall see. So, Clint, I did see the Mo2 teaser. I was going to bring up the Mo2 teaser. The one thing that that I have a problem with, guys, with StreamYard, and maybe it's my video card, okay? Maybe it's my video card. Is trying to play videos for you guys because, man, I get a shit ton of stuttering on this thing. And sometimes it almost looks like unwatchable, I guess. You guys let me know. Let me know if it matters. Let me know if you give a shit. If you don't give a shit, then I don't give a shit. Does that make sense? But yeah, I did want to look at the Mo2 teaser trailer. Is there not a lot? There's not a lot there. I think it's, what is it, about 40 seconds or so, something like that. Let's see. I'm trying to find the actual official company because, like, I've got IGN. I'll pull it up. We'll look at it. We'll take a look at it right now. Anyway, I hope you guys don't have to deal with the weather. I truly do. I hope that you are prepared anyway for the weather. It's just down here in the South, man, like it sucks because you don't get it often, so it's hard to predict. It's hard to react. People that have generators, they probably deal with that on a regular enough basis to make it worth it. But down here, man, there's a cost factor, you know, about going to buy one. And some people don't have space, live in an apartment, you know, don't have a way to run a gas generator, right? I did text my buddy and ask him if he had one I could borrow. And then it reminded him there was bad weather coming through and that he needed to go to a storage unit and grab it. So there went that idea. So anyway, look, Max Velocity. Go sub to his channel. I'm not saying you guys are weather fanatics and everything. But he is interesting. He seems like a young kid, and he does a damn good job. So, yeah, weather's become big business, man. They got us hooked, man. So Friday through Sunday, this is the area they're looking at right now. Prepare now. Look out now. Stock up. Go. Hey, before you guys forget, go fill your fucking gas tank. Okay? Go fill your gas tank. You don't want to be one of those people that you hear about who got, their gas tank froze up, right? You didn't have enough gas in there. So go get gas, even if it's a half a tank. I highly recommend it. I just went myself. That's why I was a couple minutes late. This looks bad, man. Looks bad. And then Sunday night here in Nashville, Tennessee, we will be hitting 7 degrees. In Ohio, I think it's supposed to hit negative 60 with the wind chill. So, get prepared if you can. Anyway, all right. You want to take a look at it? Let's take a look at it, man. Let's turn down Otis and the band a little bit. Come on, Otis. Bring it on down, baby. Bring it on down. On the one, Otis. On the one. Come on. All right, here we go. The Motu teaser trailer from MGM. I didn't even know they were still a company. I'm not going to lie. Let's giddy up, kids. Let's take a look. And away we go.
Not long ago, when times were simpler, this was a healthy breakfast. This was a powerful workout. And this was a hero. Perhaps now more than ever, we need that kind of hero again.
You don't say. You don't say. We need that kind of hero again. What do you think they're saying there? What do you think? What do you think they're saying there?
Need that kind of hero again.
Do you and let's just go back a little bit. Let's go back to this, right? Let's go back to this line. By the power of Grayskull. By the way, I love the leaning into the 80s. I love the leaning into the 80s stuff. Stu for Lunch is in the house. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you, my friend. Hang around for us for a little bit. And if you guys ain't doing nothing later, I'll be with 3 Star Draw. Talking about the Energon universe, if y'all have been reading the comics at all. And if you haven't, we're going to kind of get you caught up on the Energon universe later and just chit-chat a little bit. So I'll be doing that with him later, but I figured I'd go on for a couple hours during drive time and hang out for a little bit. So let's take another listen here.
And this was a hero.
That's on purpose. It has to be on purpose, right? Now, I do find it is funny because we're looking at a guy who's wearing some, what would you call that? Lion's mane briefs? I don't know. Poor Cringer got shaved. That's why he's green now. He lost all his brown hair. But I think they're leaning into it. And I think it is a shot across the bow. Yes, we do need more. We do need more heroes like this now. I think we've all had enough of what we've been told, and I think we're all men here in this stream. Oh no. Maybe Prince Adam or I guess He-Man, does it change that quick from Prince Adam, who's freshly shorn, to then He-Man, who maybe needs to do a little trimming? I don't know. That's pretty good, Joe Fan, I got to tell you. Love some Underoos, right, Stu? Love some Underoos, man. They were the best. Underoos were the best. You felt like Han Solo. You felt like He-Man. You felt like Optimus Prime, right? You felt like Batman, Superman, especially during the Super Friends days, right? Watching Super Friends on Saturday morning. That was prime time Underoos time for me, friends. Like 1981, 80, 82. Once I started getting into G.I. Joe cartoon and everything, I think I was wearing tighty whities by then, right? Yeah, like 10 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old. But them early days, Underoos was where it was at. This movie will be this generation's Citizen Kane. Man, I'm going to tell you something. I know you guys, I know a lot of y'all, and people joke about it all the time, and I get it. Feel like I do bag on everything, that I do hate everything. And it's really not true. There's so much stuff I love. Because I love it so much is why I'm so critical, I think, sometimes. Because I want to see that return. I want to see a return to this was what a hero was, right? Nowadays, this is toxic masculinity. No, this is just masculinity. Fighting for good, inspiring young men or young kids, and also inspiring 50-year-olds, right? That's what a hero was. It's what they did, and it got fucking twisted. And we all know it. Like, we all know it. It doesn't mean you can't be empathetic, sympathetic, or have compassion for people who don't think the same, okay? A lot of times I feel like their actions speak louder than their words do. And I think that's where a lot of people have been having a lot of issues the last few years, right? Because the actions are so extreme. But I think that's a shot across the bow. I truly do. I think it is definitely a, we need a hero like this. This is what women like. This is what men like. You will never change that. But I love it. I love it. Good little teaser trailers. Not a lot there. I love the 80s references. I love them leaning into that. I think that's great. And I appreciate it. Graf says, I have a feeling I'll leave the theater like I did when I saw Star Wars Episode 1. Well, it was something. I'll see it again tomorrow. Yeah, I get it because I felt the same way. When 3-Star and I walked out of that midnight showing of Phantom Menace, we kind of looked at each other and was kind of like, I liked it. Didn't you like it? I liked it. It was good. That kind of thing. If they lean in to the 80s nostalgia part of it, I'm good. I am good. Because that is knowing your audience. Graf also says they gave the male audience the same respect in this movie as Mattel gave the female audience for Barbie. There might be hope, and I think that is it. Knowing your audience. Know who you're targeting. Know who's showing up to watch this movie, and it's us. Let's not kid ourselves. Are they hoping to bring in a new audience? Are they hoping to bring in some kids that'll see this, right? Some boys, young boys that are, see this and be like, that's cool? Yes. Obviously they are, right? The one worry I have, and Matthew and I have talked about this, is, kids today, they need their own properties. And they do have them. A lot of them are anime. But they need their own properties because, nobody wants hand-me-downs. They don't mind hand-me-downs, whether it's clothes, especially if you need them, shoes, or a bike, a Nintendo console, or an Xbox, or something like that. Nobody minds hand-me-downs. They need their own properties, though. They need their things to get excited for. They don't need me to get them excited for G.I. Joe, right? My son likes the classified figures. They're cool, but he knows that's my jam. That's not his jam. He doesn't, he's like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And I've joked with him like, yeah, your dad collects toys, And I know some people are like, oh, well, that's nothing to joke about. Like, it's fun. It's what you like. Well, of course it is, right? But in the reality of the grand scheme of the world, that's where the toy market is gone. But the reason I joke with him is because I have all this stuff behind me. I've got just box after box after box of storage tub, of G.I. Joe classifieds. And I joke with him because I'm like, yeah, your friends, they probably, think, well, what the hell, But he's like, nah, it's just what you're into, man. My friends don't care. I don't care. He's like, that's what you're into. I think they're cool. But it's not his jam, right? Bobby says, we need a sequel to the 1980s movie. We can find out what happened with Principal Strickland and the Sorceress. I think we all know what happened with Principal Strickland and the Sorceress, don't we? At least I think Principal Strickland hopes. Yeah, man, look, I like it. Turk Murphy's Toy Solution is in the house, too, and he likes ladies with loose morals. Can't argue with that. I think we're all guilty. Fighting for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. Doesn't that get your fucking blood pumping, though? Right? Doesn't that get your blood pumping? Doesn't that get you moving? You see that opening? That big G.I. Joe logo swing around with the stripes and then everybody's standing on top of a motherfucker like this. This should get your blood pumping. It's fucking awesome. Who wouldn't like that? Stu says intrigued for more than I was from just the announcement. I agree. We'll run it back. I want to get the non-IGN one because it doesn't give the little future videos or whatever. But I don't care. Also, dig the teaser vibe, but with tomorrow, more shall be revealed. I agree, and be looking at that next Tuesday. But I know you guys are already going to have seen it. But it'll be fun to look at again. Don't you bring reality into this stream. I agree. I got to bring some reality in here in a little bit, though. I do. Yeah, right. Let's run it back one more time, shall we? Let's take a look at the Mo2 teaser trailer one more time.
Not long ago, when times were simpler, this was a healthy breakfast.
Hell yeah.
This was a powerful workout. And this was a hero. Perhaps now more than ever, we need that kind of hero again.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Hell yes. I mean, come on, man. I hope it's good. I really do. I don't want to bag on it. And I think it will be fine. I don't think it's gonna change the world, but I think it will be fine. I think it'll be fun. And I think if it knows its target audience, then I think it's in the bag. Let me know if you're going to go see it in the theater. I have a feeling you will. Yeah, but definitely let me know because I can't wait to review it. Can't wait to review it with Matthew. Let's see here. Man, I do have some stuff that's just backed up, man. And I don't mean my bowels. I'm talking about I'm talking about my I'm talking about all these stories I've got saved. Sweet Jesus, man. I gotta make sure I get the right shit here. Make sure I don't have some month-old story for you guys. That's the key. Okay, let's laugh a little bit. And yes, never forget, I liked Superman. I didn't love it. Hang on, we got to put the right pose. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 giraffe. All right, anyway. Okay. Yes, I liked Superman. I didn't love it. I wished it was better. But I enjoyed myself while I was there in the theater with two other people, okay? Don't make fun of me. All right. Bright gear exercise outfit wearing mamas. Yep. Jazzercise. Stu took the words out of my mouth. Bang, bang, bang. Ding, 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 ding. You win, Stu. You get the prize. Jazzercise. Right up here, dude. You got to it before I did. I love it. Yeah, It's Raining Men should be hummed. I mean, do you guys remember? Did you go see Beetlejuice? The Beetlejuice 2? Speaking of songs, like, whatever. I don't know why this popped in my head, but watching the national championship game with Indiana and Miami the other night, and Fernando Mendoza. Now, if you know where I'm going with this, Fernando Mendoza. And if I'm not mistaken, because I kept singing it all night long at work while the game was on, was the damn ABBA song, Fernando. And was that not the song at the end of Beetlejuice 2? Am I okay? Just to give you a little taste. All right. Let's see here. Come on. All right, here we go. I always get copyrighted, so I don't give a shit. Was this not at the end of Beetlejuice 2? Every hour, every minute seemed to last eternally. Was it not Fernando? And this shit got stuck in my head for like 2 days. Anyway, I got this joke sent to me the other day. By the way, that scene at the end of Beetlejuice 2 was awful. It almost ruined the movie for me. I was like, I don't know what's happening here, but this is not as good as the Tally Me Banana song. Not even close. That shit was weird. Fernando. Anyway, all right, so I got this sent to me. This is a beautiful dad joke. Cross-eyed teacher loses job. Could not control her pupils. Cross-eyed teacher loses job. Could not control her pupils. Oh my God. Are you serious? If you send me stuff on Instagram, I'm just going to tell you. My Instagram is full of nothing but memes and reels. War Chest, my Instagram messages are filled up with nothing but Instagram memes and reels from War Chest. And I mean, he'll send like 7 at a time. It's fantastic. But it's hard to watch 7 or 8 in a row. It's so hard. Oh my God. Anyway, good joke. I couldn't help myself. All right. Let's talk about the NFL. There's 2 stories that were making the rounds, and I kind of want to get you guys' idea about this. All right. I thought this was really weird. Now, we're going to watch a video first. This happened earlier in the season. And I'm not exactly sure how. I'm sure you guys have heard of Puka Nacua, right? Like, I have no doubt about it. Like, I'm sure you guys have heard of Puka Nacua. He is a receiver for the Los Angeles Rams. And this Instagram kind of reel here, it kind of, it sums it up. And the media kind of went crazy for this for a minute. But it didn't make a lot of sense to me. And I want to see if you guys can tell me what you see, and you tell me whether or not this warranted the attention it got. And I'm got an article, a couple articles pulled up, and I want to go through this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I just want you guys to watch this and let me know what you think.
Says to Puka Nacua, I want to give you a new touchdown celebration dance. All right. And the dance mimics the spinning of a dreidel and then warming your hands by a fire. And then kind of like I guess the best way to put it would be the actions of like a miserly or greedy person. Like, okay. I'm Jewish. I had no idea that is, in, I guess, some areas of the world, viewed as an anti-Semitic dance. I want to be very clear about this. I've never seen it before. I've never heard of it before, but it's being viewed across the globe right now.
Okay. Now, I know there's certain cartoons that Bugs Bunny cartoons and older cartoons that we grew up watching, right? And they have stereotypical depictions of characters. Some of the worst ones, obviously, that we do know would be where they have a character come on and it's like an African tribesman, right? And the classic depiction, the drawing, I mean, whatever. Like, even if it's one of the Looney Tunes characters that gets shot in the face or something like that. And you know how they do the gunpowder thing and it, whatever, right? Or they'd have characters like that. Of course, we have to remember some of these cartoons were made in the 40s, right? Stuff like that. World War II going on. You'd have Asian depiction of characters and how they speak. They'd have buck teeth, all that kind of thing. So I know we know now that, like, as a kid growing up, and for me, I mean, honestly, I remember stuff like that. I don't think it had that much of an effect on me as far as thinking that, like, all Asians were looked like that or dressed like that. And the reason why, I guess, for me, now, if I was in the 40s growing up watching these cartoons, without worldly experience or, television, then I could see where someone would think that. But for me growing up, it's like I knew Asian people, and I had Asian people in my school, and there were, I saw people on TV, so I knew that, like, people didn't dress like that, or they didn't look like that, right? Like, it was extremely exaggerated depiction. And as a kid, I don't think I really understood the depiction, like, I can't even really tell you whether I thought it was funny or not. And then when you look at, like, the African tribesmen and the way they would depict, people. Now, let's not kid ourselves. Like, there are tribes in Africa that have spears and they have shields, especially, obviously, in, like, the turn of the century, right? Early 1900s, you'd still have people, Teddy Roosevelt, you'd have people going out on expeditions. They would come across tribes that didn't have contact with the world or that much contact. So you do, and you still do have people that don't have contact with the world like that. But I understand why people would be upset about those depictions. But in the 40s, if you were a kid and you didn't have any knowledge or any pictures or anything like that, then you would maybe take that as gospel. But in the 80s growing up, I don't think I ever looked at those images or those things. If I saw a Jewish man, doing the little, like, or counting gold, right? Ebenezer Scrooge or that kind of thing, like, I never really equated those things as a kid. However, let's also not kid ourselves. We're old enough. We're adults. We can handle it. There is the common perception, right? Or the classic idea of a Jewish banker or a Jewish person being good with money, right? Like, there's a phrase, obviously, that's used when you're trying to barter or work out a deal with someone, okay? Right? I don't even think, in my opinion, that's meant as a slight. I think it's a skill to me. But the hubbub that was made over this dance where they're like, hey, we're, trying to give you a new dance, and it's like spin the dreidel and then kind of, rub your hands together like, hey, I'm waiting on the money. I mean, I feel like you've really got to go out of your way to be like, clutch the pearls and go, I can't believe this. Like, how dare you, right? But I get it, right? People now do overreact extremely. I think it's for attention. I think people overreact. They can make social media messages, Instagram now, right? Make a short video. It gets a lot of views because people are getting attention for doing it. That's just me. The old World War II propaganda, the Japanese were made to look like savages. Right. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Stu. And Graf, nobody better mess with Slowpoke Rodriguez. I loved Speedy Gonzalez, and I don't know. It's a cartoon, and I don't even think that was meant to be like bad. I think it was just it's a cartoon. It's funny. Also, when it was made, people are not as worldly. They don't know as much. I think now people go back and look at that stuff, and they go, well, nah, I'm not. I'm not as crazy about watching that. No, I'd love watching Speedy Gonzalez. I would have no problem. I had no problem watching Porky Pig, right, with his stuttering, and Elmer Fudd. I mean, But anyway, I digress. So, The Hollywood Reporter, and again, this is back from December. NFL star Puka Nacua apologizes for anti-Semitic gesture after live stream. So he goes on and says, when I appeared the other day on a social media live stream, it was suggested to me to perform a specific movement as part of my next touchdown celebration. He posted on Instagram at the time, or on Thursday. At the time, I had no idea this act was anti-Semitic in nature and perpetuated harmful stereotypes against Jewish people. Folks, it's a skill. It's not harmful. That's a skill. I'm sorry. Yeah, they took Pepe Le Pew away from us too because, of course, he was toxic and creepy. No, that was the point. And French, which made it even better because, that. Hello. Anyway, he continued, I deeply apologize. Jesus, I hate the internet sometimes. I deeply apologize. Come on. You can do it. Oh, I hate you. Deeply apologize to anyone who was offended by my actions, as I do not stand for any form of racism, bigotry, or hate of another group of people. The NFL had a statement about it. They strongly condemn all forms of discrimination and derogatory behavior directed toward any group or individual. Even when there's no hate, they make a team change their name. But I digress. The continuing rise of anti-Semitism must be addressed across the world, and the NFL will continue to stand with our partners in this fight. Hatred has no place in our sport or society. Additionally, the Rams issued a statement that day that read, there is no place in this world for anti-Semitism, as well as other forms of prejudice or hostility toward the Jewish people and people of any religion, ethnicity, or race. You guys probably didn't even really see about this, right? Yeah, right. God, there's so many other things they could shut down, but it wouldn't surprise me. This was a big to-do about nothing. And then to have to come out with statements. Okay, I just want to question, how many Jewish fans of the Rams or the NFL would they lose if no one made a statement about this? Like, in all reality, right? And on top of that, like, I see these commercials come on TV sometimes, and it's like this commercial, and it's showing, like, and this is my funniest part about it, it's showing classic stereotypes of Jewish people in the commercial, and then it's like, stop Jewish hate. Okay? Like, I got to be honest with you, man. I don't know anybody that hates Jewish people. Now, if you want to talk about taking sides with Israel and Hamas and all that kind of stuff, then you get in a whole different conversation. But just on the surface, like, really? Like, at this point in my life, I think most regular, everyday, working, normal people who go about their lives and have families or are single and go out and have drinks or go to dinner or go shopping or don't, stay home, watch YouTube, play video games, read comic books, collect action figures, they don't really hate a lot of anything. They might get annoyed with some shit. They might get irked by some shit. They might get tired of these fucking protesters up in Minnesota. Right? Or whatever else. You might get annoyed. But most people I know, they don't even think once about it. It's not even a thing, right? Like, it's not even a thing to most people. So this concerted effort, and I love it when people go, well, they're bringing awareness. It's like, if you're not fucking aware at this point in life, at this point in our lives, if you're not aware of every single fucking individual group of people that includes 7 people, if there's 15 people on this planet who eat cat food, have 15 roommates, okay, dye their hair the color of the rainbow, do I have to give a shit about that group of 15 people? Like, do I? They don't even go on my radar, right? And Jewish people don't go on my radar. I don't even think about it like that. I deal with so many people every day at work, different types of people. I don't think of them like that. I don't think of people in that way. Like, I just don't. Like, and it's so weird to me that they had to make a deal out of this and then come out and then apologize and, like, put out a statement. And I get it. It's status quo. That's what they do. There's no reason for Puka Nakua to come out and apologize for this. Like, there's nothing to apologize for. And with people that take offense to that little dance, like, he didn't even know what the fuck he was doing. And on top of that, what he was doing ain't no big deal. It's not even an insult. Like I said, it's a skill. But it became a thing in late December. Now, it blew over like everything does because that's what happens. Everything blows over because we move to the next story in 2 days, 3 days, and that's that. But when I saw this story, and it was back, and I missed a few streams, so it was back, as you can see, how old it was. But I wanted to bring it up because I'm like, is that, like, do we get that offended? Like, are we that easily offended? If you didn't see the video, you wouldn't know that it happened, right? If you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't think about it. And then social media gets a hold of it, and it gets brought up, and then it gets magnified times 1,000, 10,000, which will lead me to what's going on in Minnesota and why I think people are participating and going out of their way to do this. Now, there's one obvious reason. It's called money. And I think we all know at this point, people are getting paid to travel around the country and protest. And it's on a accelerated scale of pay. So the more protests you go to, the more money you can make. You see the same people in all these protests, right? They're professional protesters. They're making a living doing it. They don't care about the cause. They're getting a paycheck, which is the reason a lot of us do what we do, right? For the money. You don't work for your health, folks. You work for the money. Giraffe says, I imagine one bad season and the Rams will lose half the fan base. The dance is a grain of sand on the beach of people not attending. I agree. They got bigger problems. But, of course, they had to come out with a statement. They had to come out with a statement. Right? I mean, they had no choice. They had to come out with a statement. I just thought it was really goofy. And when I saw it, I was like, this is sad. You know, because this is where we're at. This is where we're at. Okay. I know you guys know all about the getting girls to play flag football and the end racism, the end anti-Semitism messaging. They had the breast cancer. They honor the veterans, which we later found out was actually taxpayer money being spent to fund these halftime where a soldier comes home and reunites with his family, or they do some kind of something at halftime. That was taxpayer money being spent by the military to do these things. That was not the NFL. Like, that was not the NFL doing it for free out of the goodness of their heart. It was the military trying to promote the military, but they were using taxpayer dollars to do it. And that became a thing. It became a thing, and it stopped immediately. As soon as it got found out, it stopped immediately. And I agree with that. You would think the NFL would have the wherewithal, if they're going to go to bat for a lot of social causes, that they would also go to bat for the people who serve in our military and host a soldier who gets out of a limo or a car and his family's out there at midfield, and then, you know, he pulls up, the kids see him. You'd think they'd do something like that for free. No, they were getting paid to do it. The NFL, who's worth billions and billions of dollars, was making money from the military, ergo the American taxpayer, to do those events. Remember the veterans. Honor the veterans. It was all paid for by the military. But this is where I want to go with this. The reason I brought up the girls and flag football and we got female referees now. Female trainers. I'm sure at some point you're going to have female coaches on the sidelines. There is a dedicated agenda to feminizing the NFL and football. And it's true. And there is 100% a dedicated agenda to feminizing the game of football. Now, I think all of us that watch football would agree that it is definitely, now those in Australia might tell you different, right? Or maybe soccer players. But it's one of the most manly sports you could have, right? Yes. Todd C's in the house. What's up, buddy? I think we'd all agree that football is like the culture, the locker room, the coaches, how people speak. There's cussing, there's spitting, there's scratching, there's clawing, there's grown men that weigh twice the size of us and are a foot taller, running full speed at 22 miles an hour, running into each other. It is a very meritocracy-based, very masculine sport. There is finesse, but it doesn't matter. It is masculine as fuck. And it should stay that way. However, there has been a concerted effort of feminizing the NFL. The NFL all the time is doing all kinds of activities. They're doing all kinds of programs, outreach. Just like growing the game overseas, they want to grow the game with females. Now, women do watch football. A lot of times they watch it through their boyfriends or their husbands. However, it's not a female sport. It's not a feminine sport. It doesn't need to be feminized. But there is a concerted effort to do that. For instance, the league's strategic efforts to attract and retain female fans through human-centric content, storytelling, and partnerships with women-focused media, while also reflecting broader societal discussions about gender roles, inclusivity, that word we all love, and the evolving fan base spurred partly by figures like Taylor Swift, leading to increased female viewership and commentary on women's increasing role in football culture and media, strategies for broadening appeal, humanizing the players, helmets off content, sharing personal stories, build emotional connections with players, a tactic that attracts more female and casual fans, strategic partnerships, collaborations with women-centric platforms like Betches, you mean Bitches, and The Gist, tell stories from authentic, relatable perspectives. Cultural moments. Taylor Swift and her relationship with Travis Kelce boosted female viewership significantly. Evolving fan base. Now, this is one that I question. Evolving fan base. Women now make up nearly half of the NFL's audience. Is it the same way that women make up half of the video game playing player base? Because depending on what metrics we measure it by, right? If you want to say mobile gaming means that a girl is a gamer because she plays Match 3 on her phone, or Word Scrabble, or whatever the fuck it's called. If you want to compare that person to somebody who sits down and goes through 30 hours of God of War, or 170 hours of Fallout, or Final Fantasy 17, or whatever, I guess you could use that metric, sure. But it's not real. Media representation. There's a rise in women's influence in sports media. Great. With increased female voices in commentary and analysis. Though some traditionalists view this as feminization or dilution of sports talk. Inclusivity versus tradition. Women's tackle football growing, which I think is pretty sad because it's like watching women's basketball, only worse. And discussions around gender equality in coaching and playing opportunities. Playing opportunities. Okay. So I want to bring up something that I borrowed from Jason Whitlock from his show. And this is a chart of women in high NFL positions. And I want you guys to look at these teams. And I want you guys to look at a majority of these teams now. And I want you to tell me what a majority of these teams have in common. But we're going to go through and we're going to kind of look at some of these females in high positions. Okay? For instance, Gail Benson, owner of the Saints. Jody Allen, owner of the Seahawks. Amy Adams Strunk, right here in Tennessee. Widely recognized as one of the worst owners in the NFL, especially here in Nashville. Owner of the Titans. Sheila Ford Hamp, owner of the Lions. Darcy Glazer Kasowitz, co-owner of the Bucks. Denise DeBartolo York, co-chairwoman of the 49ers. Carly Ursay Gordon, co-owner and CEO of the Colts. Dee Haslam, co-owner Browns. Charlotte Jones, co-owner of the Cowboys. Sandra Douglas Morgan, team president of the Raiders. Christy Coleman, team president of the Panthers. Katie Blackburn, executive vice president of the Bengals. Catherine Hickman, vice president of the Browns. If we go through this list of teams, and we look at the state of where these teams are, okay? Saints, Titans. Colts, Browns. Cowboys, Raiders. Bengals, Panthers. I know the Panthers made it to the playoffs, but, like, they've been one of the worst franchises for several years. Most of the teams have in common is they're not good. Now, I'm not going to directly correlate and say that's the reason, but then we have to look the trickle-down effect from not only the co-ownership or ownership or CEO or team president part of it, executive vice president. Some of these may be titles that were given, right? But they really don't do anything. But let's not kid ourselves. There is a concerted effort, and it's happening even more so, where the NFL and Roger Goodell want these owners to will these teams, not to their sons, not to their male family members, but there's a concerted effort to equal the parity in male and female ownership in the NFL. 100%. And Garaf brings up, says NFL consistently shows the highest prevalence in public reporting of domestic violence cases among major U.S. sports leagues. 100%. You're absolutely right. It is. It is a very, very masculine sport that also includes many players who don't know how to control or turn the off button when they get off the field. Very true. Widely reported. I agree. 100%. But it also says, good luck spinning that L magazine on your deep dives into the players. Exactly. Todd says, look, I play video games with women online. More fun than playing with an annoying kid that screams profanities in their mic. I got no problem with that. I don't think anybody wants to play with kids who scream profanities, right? But I'd say that it's a misnomer to act like women make up 50% of the gaming population. When we talk about gaming in its truest sense of the form, right? Omit mobile gaming. That's what I mean, right? Now, you're right. Some of these teams are really good. For instance, the Lions, who didn't make the playoffs this year. Seahawks could be playing in the Super Bowl. I agree. Buccaneers, let's see. Oh, didn't make the playoffs. 49ers, done a pretty good job recently. Colts, lost most every game the rest of the year when they were 8-2, I think. And the owner of the Colts, the co-owner, is on the headset listening to the coaches talk to each other during games. Now, some may say, well, yeah, she's an owner. She wants to be involved. I agree, but you cannot tell me that if a female walks in a locker room or is listening to your conversation, a group of grown men, that changes the dynamic. There is hesitation. It changes the dynamic. It just does. And people then are not their truest selves. Now you say, well, their truest self might be an asshole. Yeah, it might be. Guys cuss. They make fart jokes. They talk about dicks. Right? You ain't doing that. When you're on the headset, you're cussing and you're talking shit and you're talking back and forth and you got a third party listening in, there's a lot of things that can be misconstrued, misheard. Right? You know, it is a very, very difficult game and very intense. Right? I just think it's weird to have somebody on the headset during games. And I think it makes people change the way that they operate, the way they act. It just does. In the locker room, we've all heard locker room talk. Now, some people say, well, locker room talk, I mean, that's just people being... No, it's a group of fucking guys. Right? It changes the dynamic. Now, if you start introducing female coaches in the locker room afterwards, then what do the men do? Instead of being, dressing at the locker, in the locker room, do you have to have individual stalls now? Right? Like, do you have to, would it be okay that the guys are in their jock strap, putting their, getting out of their clothes, putting their regular clothes on, right? Now, I know they allow female reporters in the locker rooms, but they've changed a lot of the ways that you have to act now. You have to be now. You have to dress now, right? If you don't lead with, I'm a woman, yes, we know, I don't care. Are you good at the job? Fine. I don't want your perspective. I don't want feelings. And I agree, Joe, around 42. It is about getting the job done. Ultimately, at the end of the day, who's the best person for the job? But I really feel that there's a direct agenda to feminize the NFL. And I don't know that is, it's, to me, more for its detriment. Right? And I also agree with the statement because, look, if you have to qualify who you are at the beginning of your sentence, as in, I'm a straight white male, or as a straight white male, as a queer female of color, as a gay Middle Eastern man, well, you'll never hear that, at least not out loud. But you get what I'm saying, right? If you have to qualify, right? I don't like qualifying. But you could definitely see from your emails to your conversations to your letterhead to your directives to your the way players act, how comfortable do they feel? I mean, this is a multifaceted kind of thing. And I do think that the Seahawks will win the Super Bowl. I agree with you, Todd. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you're right. There are a couple of teams on here that are really good. There's also a lot more bad teams. A lot more bad teams. But you're right. There are a couple of them that are pretty good. Let's see. Seahawks do great on new Pope years. I think it's some arrangement with the devil. They do. It's very interesting with a new Pope and then the Seahawks win the Super Bowl. It's one of the strangest things you'll see. But you're right. It absolutely has been. Who is the sexiest owner or sexiest of the owners, though? I don't know. I would dare say not many of them because most of them are as old as their husbands who died and passed the team on. Jody Allen, by far. Her bikini pictures from Paul Allen's yacht are outstanding. Okay. All right. Thank you because I am not going to Google that. Todd says the NFL's goal is always make money. Yes, I agree. Making money is definitely it. Now, comes the wider audience, right? Yes, it does. Now, I agree. There is the action of the Taylor Swift or the reaction of the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce thing. You get a lot of girls, you get jerseys. Yeah, it's all about making money. We all know that. I'm talking about just the pure aesthetics of it. Because the NFL already has a problem with people thinking that gambling is now ruining the league. That gambling is causing these games to be called differently or reffed differently or played differently, right? It started with fantasy football. Now, gambling's always been a part of it, going forever. But fantasy football really kicked it into high gear, right? Because instead of you being upset that your favorite player on a team or a player on a team had 7 catches, 2 touchdowns, but the one ball he dropped was the 10 extra yards that would have got you your fantasy football win. Now you have people sending messages to this receiver or the running back or the quarterback or whomever because of the one play they didn't make, even though the team won the game. Right? And I think it started with that, this hyper focus. And now gambling is so easy, and because it's so widespread now that a lot of people feel like gambling has influenced the way these games go. They feel like the NFL's rigging games. Now, I think it'd be difficult to rig games when you have 22 players on a field. There's way too many moving parts, depending on who the player is. The NBA, on the other hand, and basketball is a different story, right? But a lot of people, the aesthetics of it is people will definitely try to piece together theories about what it is. If you have a team that's not very good and you start to look through the ownership down to the team president, down through in some of the other positions, right? Then people will start to try to make correlations to that. It is all about money. It is all about growing the fan base. I don't know how much more you can grow the fan base. I mean, the NFL's the top-rated TV, the top 100 rated live events, TV shows every year. It's like 95 of them are football. But I think it's an interesting agenda that the NFL is doing. And not necessarily on the not necessarily just from the viewership aspect, but just bringing in, and eventually you will see, and let's not kid ourselves, you will see there will be a female player at some point in time. There will be a female player. There will be a lawsuit. There will be a court case. And then I want to see how the NFL handles this feminization. Because I firmly believe you will see a female player in the NFL. What position? Who knows? But I do believe we are going to see it. If the way that we operate now, the way the court systems operate, the way that organizations operate, I do believe you will see it. I almost guarantee we're going to see, definitely, there's going to be coaches, but you're also probably going to, eventually, you're going to see a female head coach. Don't doubt it. I do not doubt it. Charlotte got Rich Dalrymple fired the best PR director in NFL history. He put mirrors on the shoes to see up her skirt. I don't remember that. What? Clint says Haslam's are pretty good people, just not good sports owners. I agree, although I don't know if I'd go so far as to call them good people. But he says I was there when they got their money to buy the Bucks. Yes, trying to grow internationally is also a big deal. As a matter of fact, coming up soon, the NFL is wanting to go to an 18-game schedule, and they're wanting each team to play one international game a year. So that would put, 16 international games? Every team would have to play one. So, yeah, it's interesting. But the international growth is definitely true, for sure. Then Greff says, as long as the numbers of new viewers they don't apply tactics that make them lose more of their current fan base. Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, yes. So there is a byproduct. There is a byproduct, right? Like, it depends on how you go about doing it. This has all been very behind the scenes to the casual NFL fan. Like, all of this, this has all been casual behind the scenes. Most people had no idea about this right here. And understandably so, because if it's not your team, you don't pay attention, right? It'll be a long time before there's a female player they can't even star in high school. I don't even think it's about... See, that's the rub, right? A meritocracy, ultimate meritocracy for players in particular. I just feel like there is going to be a court case at some point in time. And that may have to do also, identity. It could come down to identity and how somebody identifies and all that stuff too. It really could. Depends on the state, maybe, right? But you're right. Not even starting in high school, but it's coming. It will be. I think we'll be dead and gone before it happens. But I firmly believe it. Yeah, the Pilot J. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You're from Tennessee. Our company partnered with Jimmy, until Buffett bought us out. Yeah. The Pilot Flying J. Yeah. The Haslams, and of course, Governor Haslam here. As well. But yeah, it's the Browns are an absolute shit show. Let's not kid ourselves, right? Like the Browns are a shit show. But it's interesting. I think, it is a very directed agenda to include women in any facet that they can. And again, whether that's growing the fan base, whether that's viewership, whatever that means, right? Yeah, it is definitely all about. It is all about money, and here is from the NFL football operations, NFL women's community. The NFL women's community connects women across the football ecosystem by serving as a central platform for resources, events, programs, and initiatives that support and champion women involved in the game. There's a whole thing: officiating, learn the game, journey to the NFL, the rules, inside football ops, game day, right? Like learn the game. You've got basics, flag football, coaching timeline, NFL way to play. There's all kinds of stuff. They've gone all out here. Right? Like, NFL officials, official signals, right? Like there is a lot here, a whole lot here. Now, I'll be honest with you. I think this is a great resource for anybody. It doesn't even have to be for women, right? This resource, if you want to teach people the game, now, again, as we read into the writing, right? Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship. Right? Like, okay. Yeah. I mean, look, it's not going to stop. It'll always be here. And again, it is all about money. I just find it fascinating. But I think this as a resource, this website as a resource, I think it's good for anybody. Right? I mean, look, they even have a social justice page. They even have a social justice page with their mission statement and everything. What else do they have? There's a lot. There's a lot here. But if you want to learn the rules, of course, I think a lot of us are late in our lives at this point. If you don't know football, you probably ain't getting into football. But yeah, there's a lot here. The NFL focusing on police and community relations. Because that's who I want focusing on police and community relations is the NFL, right? Criminal justice reform. Yes, I want the NFL all in on criminal justice reform. You mean the kind of reform where they let criminals out of jail who then go on to rob and murder people? That kind of criminal justice reform? Is that the justice reform we're talking about? Okay. Speaking of Kathy Ireland, holy moly, I still have my Sports Illustrateds from back in the day. I still have them from back in the day. Let's see here. There's some good comments here. Let's see. At the old extra point distance, women could make, but at the new distance, it will be tougher. I agree, but you get some soccer players in there, right? Now, what guy on defense would ever sack a female, though? I think that could be fun. Turk says, hey, I'm just going to say it. I don't know how this is all going to work out. I'm just glad I don't follow sports. Yeah, no. I feel you. There's so many people that feel that way. I know a lot of people, they're just like, I don't care. I really don't care. I do. I'm an absolute fanatic. I mean, an absolute fanatic. Let's see here. How about let's watch ESPN and Scott Van Pelt's reaction on New Year's Eve. This was ESPN on New Year's Eve. And Scott Van Pelt is hosting SportsCenter. And this is what happened.
Yeah, live makeouts on SportsCenter. Get into it. Oh, what do we got? We got love in the air.
Oh. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's a surprise. I remember seeing this after. I didn't see this when it happened, but I remember seeing it when it happened. Watch closely.
Yeah, live makeouts on SportsCenter. Get into it. Oh, what do we got?
What a save. What an absolute career-saving move. Live makeout sessions on SportsCenter. Oh, here we go. And then two dudes kissing. Oh, love is in the air. Oh, my God. Whew, fucking priceless, kids. Fucking priceless. That was awesome. It was awesome. Okay. So, I found a couple other things. I know there was some shit made about, I know you guys may watch It's Chad. I know Chad put out a video the other day about some of the toy protests, collaborator protests, stuff like that. But I found some good shit. I found some funny shit, and I can't help myself. One of them is from Instagram. And this is pretty good shit right here. What is with this haircut? What is with this haircut? What is what is this? I don't get this. I'm seeing this more and more now, and then I'm seeing the people that are Okay, guys, if you see the septum ring, okay, if you see the septum ring, let alone this haircut, if you see the septum ring, run away. Run away. Quickly run away. Okay? Okay, holy shit. I mean, that's just fucking bad news bears right there, isn't it? All right. I have to find this this video quickly because I had it saved and then it got let's see. It got changed. Sometimes Instagram will change shit on you and you have something saved and then it literally will it'll swap it to another video. Okay. You guys have to see this. You may have seen this. I do not know. I hope you have. But this is a guy on a plane eating peanuts. Eating peanuts. And this woman is extremely upset. And this interaction is one of the funniest fucking things that I've ever seen.
Can you believe this guy's got peanuts on the plane?
I didn't know that they still serve peanuts on the plane.
I mean, excuse me. Could you please get his attention? What's that? Hi, I'm so sorry, but would you mind not having peanuts on the plane? I'm going to see my granddaughter. She's very, very allergic to peanuts. Could you put them away or something?
My peanuts?
Yeah, yes, my daughter is, her throat closes up and we've rushed her to the hospital a number of times because of peanuts. So I'm just asking you nicely if you could please just put them away because I don't even want them near me.
Well, first of all, you're across the aisle from me. There's literally 2 people between us. You think my peanuts are going to hurt?
Do you think I would take the chance?
That's not even here. Your granddaughter's not even here.
I'm sorry, but I just can't take the chance, sir. I appreciate you talking to me about this, but I really would appreciate if you could put those peanuts away as soon as possible. I'm going to get the stewardess right now.
Ma'am, if my peanuts across the aisle, a crumb happens to get on you and you travel it all the way to visit your granddaughter and your granddaughter dies, maybe your granddaughter's not meant to be alive.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I know! No! Did you hear what he just said? Oh my God! He just insulted me, insulted my granddaughter, and said he wanted her to die.
I wasn't insulting her. I didn't say I wanted her to die, but the irony that your granddaughter is allergic to nuts when you're nuts.
Oh my God.
I really need this man to be escorted.
She just laughed. She laughed. She smiled at that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Right? It's like the AI. It's like the AI pictures and videos now, right? It's, you can't believe hardly anything you see today, right? Like you literally can't believe it, regardless of what it is. right? You guys have seen the videos of athletes after a game, and they're on the podium, and they're talking about like, you know, the refs. I'm glad. I want to thank the refs for gifting me this victory, right? I want to thank the refs for, not throwing a flag on me when I obviously blah, 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 right? And so, yeah, it's hard to watch anything anymore without thinking it's staged. And then you have stuff like this. And if it is staged, it's pretty sad.
Trump said the United States will be running Venezuela. Woo! A colony. Woo! Imperialism. All for what? So a fucking multinational corporation can get profit. Woo! Trump said the United...
Now, these people do exist because I met one the other day. I actually met one the other day. These people, they do exist. I can't get enough of some of these videos, though. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I can't get enough of some of these videos about people raging out. I absolutely find it fascinating. And the reason that they keep doing it, and that's how I get to the Minnesota stuff. The reason they keep doing it is because they get attention for it, right? If you're making posts, my mom said this to me the other day. My mom's in her mid-70s. And she's like, I don't understand these women that are my age that are out there at these protests. Like, I don't understand. They're out there singing these stupid little hymns and, like, making up words to songs. And it's so fucking cringe and embarrassing and shit. But she's like, I don't understand it. I said, you have to understand, Mom. Like, the only reason they're doing it is because they get attention. So no one would go do this stuff if they weren't getting attention. When their videos get played on Fox News, when people share it on social media, when it gets thousands, tens of thousands, millions of views, it incentivizes people to make these videos, to record themselves, to attend protests, right? And record themselves doing shit because they get attention. Otherwise, no one would be paying attention to these people. Like, not at all. Not the least bit of attention. This girl right here, nobody pays attention to this girl unless she acts this way. In real life, people would stay away from this girl because of her hair, because of her what? Septum ring. Right? Guys, stay away from the septum ring. Trust me. Because you can't pull on it like you want to. Right? You just can't. But the reason they do this shit is because of the attention. And if they weren't getting attention, they absolutely would not do it. It's just the truth. There was one thing I wanted to hit, right? So we know in New York City, in New York, they've elected Zohran Mamdani, okay, who is a self-professed socialist. And I hope that works out for New York. I don't think it's going to work out for New York, but we saw something during his inauguration, okay? And I want to know whether or not you guys saw this covered or not. Because it was getting, shared around. It's like, hey, nobody covered this. Nobody covered this. If you look it up, you're not going to find any of this stuff. And I want to know whether or not you guys saw this or not. Because I remember seeing it, but it was definitely not from the normal news sites that I see who report on a lot of shit all the time, right? You may have seen this when this guy got sworn in. Okay, you might have seen this. And it really didn't get, it got covered by certain organizations, which I think we all know which ones those would be. But it didn't get covered the same way that this got covered. Right? So what's the difference, I guess? Right? Like, what's the difference? Of course, you see this person, they say, don't you see the difference? It's like, not really. I mean, it's the same motion. I don't know. I'm lost. But it definitely didn't get covered the same way. Right? Like, it did not get covered the same way. This story was everywhere. All over the place. And I agree, Todd. I think he was trolling. Whereas Mamdani, I don't think he is trolling. Now, again, I don't even think anything of this. I don't care. I don't look at this and go, oh, this is a Nazi salute. I just don't think of it that way. You know, people make gestures all the time. They do all kinds. Do you guys remember when the OK gesture was some big deal? Do you remember when that was a big deal? Because like 15 people co-opted it to mean something to them that it didn't mean to everyone else, right? You remember that, right? So this to me is a big nothing burger. I don't care about this. You know, and if I lived in New York City, I'd care about far more than this, right? But either way, it just doesn't, to me, like, I don't, but it didn't get covered. That was the thing that I think the biggest thing. What's up, War Chest? Is that it didn't really get covered. But this took over, right? This took over. And I love these responses too. Like some of these people is, man, it is, you know, it is a rabbit hole. Now, however, because Mamdani is he's a community first. He's a communist, socialist, right? So he believes that you will own nothing and be happy to do it. Well, here in Tennessee, the mom of Mamdani's aide, who said owning a house is a weapon of white supremacy, has a $1.6 million house in Tennessee. And Office of Tenant Protection Director thinks New York City should be able to seize private property. Right? So the house that this girl grew up in, right? The house her mother owns is a sign of white supremacy, of which she grew up in. So is it by the property of transitive property, right? Is it osmosis? What is it? Like, you know, is his aide a white supremacist for living in a house that her mom bought? Because that's the average house price. In Tennessee now, $1.6 million is nothing. Especially if it's in Franklin. But also, though, being that they shouldn't care, I guess, about fashion, right? Shouldn't care about the cost of stuff. But then we see that his wife at the inauguration, well, she was sporting a pair of $630 boots and a Balenciaga coat, right? Like, even socialist communists have to dress nice, right? Like, I hope that New York City understands that it's the rules for thee and not for me, right? Like, I hope they understand that. I hope they like government-funded grocery stores, property seizures, I don't know. We'll see. And I know now here in Tennessee, we're going to see a ton of people flooding already from New York City. Like flooding our state again after 2020. We're going to see even more New Yorkers flood Nashville. And they'll turn this place, I guarantee, they'll turn this place into the same thing. They'll lie to your face and tell you they're not bringing their politics. They'll lie to your face and tell you that they're leaving their politics at the door. That's not happening. Right? Like it's a lie. I mean, it just is. And eventually Nashville will definitely turn into what they have in California and New York City. It's already begun. Stu, go make some dinner, buddy. Have a good night. Worcester says, oh, no, they didn't cover it. Always one-sided left. Crazy bullshitting little thing they think they can twist is comical. Yeah, we see it often. But, again, I just didn't see it covered the same way. But the Elon Musk one, man, I mean, that was everywhere. I couldn't open up a Washington Post, any site that I looked through to get news. I couldn't find one that didn't have that. Griff says, I can't say anything. Got socialist Katie Wilson in Seattle. I know, and I feel bad for you. I'm just hoping she doesn't tax us more to redistribute the wealth to things for all legal and illegal people in the city. You already know. I know it's not a question, Graph, but you already know the answer. And there's a couple other stories I found interesting here. For instance, Germany is disabling remote starts on Lexus cars because warming up your own vehicle before work is now unnecessary pollution. It says, without warning, Germany ordered Lexus to remotely shut down the remote start function on combustion vehicles, leaving over 100,000 drivers stranded in freezing temperatures. A Toyota rep confirmed the move, calling it compliance, but compliance with what? This is the new climate authoritarianism, where your ability to heat your own car is revoked overnight with an app update. Yeah. The World Economic Forum said it plainly. You will own nothing, and now it's happening. Renting features, renting heat, renting freedom. The pretext is the climate. The real goal is control. And electric vehicles, they're even easier to shut down. Today, it's your car. Tomorrow, it's your fridge, your heat, your bank account. One wrong post, and Palantir's AI could decide you no longer deserve access. As we've seen a move to, thank you, brother. As we've seen a move to this, okay, let me rephrase this. We've seen more and more people getting elected who buy into socialist communist ideals, and they hate capitalism. We've seen countries that are obviously getting overrun right now, whether it's Muslim, whether, or here in America, whether we've had people who are being elected in office who hold these ideals of that you will own nothing. It's not crazy to say, I agree, Woody. I just had this conversation. I agree. I just had this conversation with my mother yesterday about both sides. It is all about control. Her wondering why people aren't getting prosecuted, because Trump ran on a platform of wanting to prosecute some of these people that had, obviously, or, how do you go into public office and you've got a net wealth of $100,000, you come out a $38 million net worth, shit like that, right? And I said, well, nothing's going to happen. No one's getting prosecuted. No one's going to jail. Pelosi's not going to jail. None of these people are going to jail. Nothing ever happens. It's literally just about power and who has it. And unfortunately, we're caught in the middle of it, right? And it's always been that way, but especially now, the hyper-focus of it. not only do you not have any control over it, but you literally are just a pawn in the middle, right? You literally are just a pawn in the middle. So no matter what side it is, nothing is going to happen. Now, it'll happen to you because you ain't shit. But no. And that was what I was trying to tell my mom. It's like, no, it doesn't matter. Left, right, whatever. I will say this, though, you know, regardless of what side it is interesting to see how the two sides and the people that in support of each side, how those people act. Right? Like, we can look at the people in Minnesota and you can see everything that's going on up there. And regardless of what you think about ICE or whatever, it's pretty plainly to see different sides and how those different sides act. Right? Whether it's how they protest, whether it's how they voice their opinions, there are major differences. And there is one side that definitely acts a fuck lot crazier than the other. Right? What I find really funny, though, is like I had somebody the other day that was like joking about the whole Turning Point thing, right? And they're putting on their own halftime show, right? Whatever. I don't care. Like, you do whatever you want to do. But I find it fascinating that people will go with a level of vitriol over like prayer vigils and like people, religious, like Christians, right? And it's like such a totally opposite way of protest in a way, or thinking in a way. Whereas when you look at stuff like this,
Hey, stop. Stop. Wait, let them go. Let them go. Try to cross. Leave it up. No. Y'all just let him leave. It's not working. Hey, stop. Hey, let him out. Let him out. Fuck that nigga, man.
or like this. Or this.
Renee good! Renee good! Renee good!
Or this.
No, dog. Take it off. You're not going to. Take it off and you won't get hurt. Take it off. Nasty butt. Take it off. He gave you a chance. There you go. I got you. You're good. Get your ass up out of here. Drop it. Get your keys. Drop it. I gave you a chance. Good.
this.
The one place where we thought we would never experience this is the U.S. goddamn states.
Right. Maybe get a handle. Maybe get a handle on all the fucking fraud. Right? Maybe get a handle on all the fraud before you talk about the place you didn't think you'd have to deal with. What? Getting fucking caught for fraud? I wonder what happens if you get caught for fraud in Somalia. Or how about this woman?
That Mustang's coming on you pretty fast. She just ran a red light.
She went up with you.
Yeah, this is a fast little car. She's right behind you now. All right, just slow down. Let me do this.
Yeah, come down here. Come down here. Fly road.
Okay. Turn on the lights. 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 Hey, wait.
Okay.
Turn on the lights. Ma'am, you're impeding with the federal investigation. We have your own camera. We actually have news reporters with us in the vehicle. Your case will be referred over to Homeland Security investigation for prosecution. You will be arrested. This is your last and final warning. Hold on a second, guys. Give me your license, please. I will once again tell you, you have cases in danger. Put your vehicle in park and shut it off, please. I understand, but you are impeding. Look where you're at. You are almost causing an accident. You are surrounded by federal agents. Okay, I am the Deputy Field Office Director here, ma'am.
We're here at the Mustang.
Stand by. We're running the name. We're going to refer this case over for her.
Look at this bitch hypervent. Look at her freaking the fuck out now. See, this is what happens when you play stupid fucking games and you win stupid fucking prizes. As she runs a red light, running from the cops, almost causes an accident, which easily could happen when you run a fucking red light and you're some stupid bitch who really probably don't even know how to fucking drive anyway. But then says, well, I'm just a mom. Well, you should have fucking thought of that before you not only flipped off the fucking agents who had you pulled over, but then sped off. And then when they had you stopped, you try to speed off again. That's how people get run the fuck over. Right? Is by people who decide when 1 or 2 seconds of their fucking life, because they feel empowered to act this way because they see it on social media. They see people acting like fucking idiots and nothing happening to them, assaulting officers, agents, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Talking shit to them. And then something bad fucking happens. This bitch ran a fucking red light and could have killed someone or herself. And do you know how'd be fucking covered? Just like this bullshit. Let's see. Mother of 3 who loved to sing and write poetry shot and killed by ICE in Minneapolis. ICE agent shoots, kills U.S. citizen Renee Good in South Minneapolis. She was an amazing human being. Mother identifies woman shot, killed by ICE agent. Eyewitnesses say Renee Good posed no threat to ICE agents. Family and neighbors mourn woman who was shot by ICE agent and made Minneapolis home. Renee Good's wife says she was supporting neighbors when killed by ICE. Distraught woman says ICE killed her wife in video after deadly Minneapolis shooting. Poet, writer, wife, mom. Who was Renee Nicole Good, the woman killed by an ICE agent? Woman fatally shot by ICE officer, remembered as one of the kindest people. See, that's how the shit gets covered. But the truth of the matter is, these stupid fucks act this way, okay? Put people's lives in fucking danger. Assault officers. They wear masks and shit over their faces, but then they want the ICE agents to not wear a mask. Right? Fuck around and find out. I'm just a mom. Right? Like, you want to protest, you can fucking protest. You can do that in this country. You can 100% do that in this country. Running red lights, putting people's lives in danger, assaulting officers, turning your wheels at someone to run them over. Yeah, bad shit can happen. And you know what the fuck happened? She got shot. Someone got shot over it. I bet when she woke up that fucking morning, watching all her Instagram reels that her friends send her and feeling empowered by CNN and buying into this shit, and she wakes up with her wife. By the way, she had 3 kids. What happened to her kids? What happened to the kids at home? Like, what happened to her ex-husband? Two ex-husbands. Her second, Timmy Macklin Jr., died in 2023. She had a 6-year-old son with him. While her first husband, whose name wasn't widely publicized, has custody of her 2 older children. Do you know what happens when a man gets custody of the children from a woman? Do you want to know? Do you want to know how a man gets custody of children from a marriage? You know how that happens? Because the wife has to fuck up real bad. Real bad. Loving mom, wife of, mom of 3, great person. Great people don't try to run motherfuckers over. Okay? Great people don't put themselves in harm's way. This just a mom, she's just a mom, ran a red light, sped from the cops. Then when they have her boxed in, she tries to take off again. But she's just a mom. And then you see her in the car freaking the fuck out when they actually have her stopped. And they're like, guess what? Yeah, this shit's real. This shit is real. And again, guys don't normally get custody of the kids. That's just how the court works. That's how this shit goes down. Guys don't normally get custody. You could be the greatest person in the world. They always lean on the mom. Always. Unless the mom is fucked up. So don't let the media play this shit. And if you look at who's reporting on it, The Guardian, NBC, Washington Post, AP, NPR, CNN, CBS, Minnesota Star Tribune, and The Advocate, that's why it was covered that way. Right? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I don't care what side you come down on ICE or not. I really don't. It's how you handle that, how you express that, says everything about how it's also going to be handled on the other end. A lot. And then, yeah, I agree, Turk. It's the U.S., sister. Get used to being fucked over. It's the norm. Yeah. And it is. It absolutely is. It is the norm. Right? I have my own history. You know, I have my own, like, stuff that, you know, I've gotten into, that I've done. You know, we all have our own shit. So don't think that I'm just like, hey, I'm all about police and supporting, you know, and all this kind of stuff. Like, you know, we all have our own histories and such. our own life experiences. And so every time I do this show and every time I talk, it's just from my own experience, my personal experience, what I've witnessed, what I've watched, people I've talked to. I'm in a business that I talk to people a lot. So I hear a lot of opinions from people. You make correlations, stuff like that. It just is. It is what it is. But I will never lie to you. That's for one thing. I'll never lie to you. I will tell you my opinion. And if you like showing up, I appreciate it. And for those of you that have been hanging this long, I do appreciate it. I am going to have to jump off here because I got to jump to another stream here in less than 2 hours. Checkpoint Bravo, the lovely, talented Turk Murphy's Toy Solution says, Pop, you see what Jesse Ventura had to say over that shooting, like the guy or not? He is right. I have not seen what the body said about it. I'll tell you what. I'm going to tell you what. I will do one thing. I'm going to drop a link into the chat, and it is it's a lawyer that I watched who spent years as a police officer. He was like an assistant district attorney, I believe. And he has a great video over that shooting. It is a very non-biased video. I know that'd be hard to believe. And you say, no, you're not. You're not going to drop a non-biased video in the chat. No, it absolutely 100% is. It is a non-biased video. He gives a great take on both sides. Looking at the video, and I'm sure you guys have seen it a lot, but it is about that Renee Good shooting. But he offers a really, really good take. And so give me 1 sec. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to drop the link in the chat so you guys can check it out. And then I'm going to try to boogie out of here. So let's see. There it is right there. And he's a black guy. For what it's worth. Nah, he's very good. His name's Nate the Lawyer. I'll drop that link right there. That is Nate the Lawyer. It is a very good video. Very, very good video. I agree. The mainstream media loves the fear-mongering. Like I said, no matter how you feel about it, I don't condone what's wrong either. And I think that, unfortunately, people have been feeling super, super emboldened and doing this. And I'm going to look up the Jesse Ventura for sure, 100%. But yeah, people feel emboldened, and it's because they get attention. I think, if people didn't get attention, if social media was not a thing, we would not see the numbers of people out there doing what they're doing and feeling emboldened to do this. I just don't think that would be the case. But it is because I think people get the attention, and it allows them to feel like there's no consequences. And unfortunately, sometimes, as we've seen, there are consequences to your actions. And regardless of whether you think who's right or who's wrong, bottom line is somebody died, and had they not acted in the way that they acted, probably wouldn't have happened, right? We could probably lay down odds on it. But anyway, yeah, look, hey, I thank you guys for hanging out this long and chilling with me. Think about moving this to, the problem is that I can't do this stream every Wednesday because I do work the other Wednesdays that I'm not streaming with my cousin. But if you are doing anything tonight, we'll try to nail down a great time for the Unfiltered stream. But if you're not doing anything tonight, I will be on with 3-Star Draw here at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on his channel doing Sevens Wild. And we are going to be going over the G.I. Joe Energon Universe comic. They just finished up the Dreadnought War. So if you're into that, come hang out for a little bit, and we're going to kind of talk about that and some other stuff, man. So, yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys have a good rest of the week, and prepare for the ice and the snow, because it is damn sure coming. So y'all be careful, and I will talk to y'all here in just a little bit and next Tuesday with Matthew Matson. So until then, see.